In this episode of Airstream MTV, I hold a really long pole. Emily questions whether we should consult the instructions. And I see how well the bike rack performs through some not-so-typical road conditions. When traveling long distances, there are multiple ways to bring your bike. When I started my research, I had two goals for bike transportation. The first was to clear the bed of bikes and allow for camping and bike gear. The second was the ability to tow a trailer. This quickly eliminated the option of using the truck bed itself. A longer standard bed would probably allow for this option, but I have a short bed and fitting two bikes pretty much takes up all the space. Gear would need to be piled on top or underneath the bikes. If I got a bed extender, it would allow for additional space. Unfortunately, I would lose use of the rear camera. Bed extenders can cost from $150 to $300, and it may be an option for those of you who don't mind not using the backup camera. Another option is a tailgate pad. This allows for multiple bikes to hang over the tailgate using Velcro straps to keep the bikes in place. It would free up some space in the bed for gear, however I don't believe tailgate pads are great for traveling long distances. The pads tend to wear down, and without extra protection on bumpy roads, you can damage the frame or the fork. The tailgate pad is a more affordable option, priced anywhere between $120 to $150, and may work well on short trips to your local trails. Be sure to apply additional padding to the bike if you're traveling off-road. The last alternative I reviewed was the tow receiver hitch mount. I see them often even with trucks. They range from $250 to $650. This option was also rejected since I need the hitch for the trailer. This may be a good option if you're not towing. However, be careful if you leave the mount on your car or truck. If it covers your license plate, you could be pulled over by law enforcement. Also, it may block your rear camera if it's positioned correctly. I ultimately decided to go with a bed, tower, and crossbar rack system. It would keep the bed free for gear as well as the receiver hitch for towing. This type of system basically consists of 4 mounting towers that attach to the rails of the truck bed. When combined with 2 crossbars, they act similar to a roof rack system you would see on an SUV or sport wagon. There are many options available from Thule, Yakima, and a number of other manufacturers. If money is no object, Thule has a nice option called the X-Sporter Pro that allows the height to be adjusted for the crossbars. The price for this system is $800, but it comes with the crossbars. The most affordable system I found was from a company called Inno, which offered bed rail towers for $110 and crossbars for $80. I have not had any personal experience with Inno products, and I am unaware of their durability. The few reviews available on Amazon have been positive. Note, I did not see an option to lock the racks. I ended up selecting the Yakima Bedrock towers and 78-inch round bars for my F-150. I have been a Yakima and Thule customer over the years, but I really like the low-profile style of the towers, and the price was great at under $300 for the mounts and crossbars. No special tools are needed, and it doesn't require any holes to be drilled into the bed of the truck. Next, I needed to decide on a bike mount for the new rack system. I already own a few fork mounts from Thule and RockyMounts, but I wanted to get a bike carrier where I didn't have to take off the front wheel. To better explain, a fork bike mount requires you to take off the front wheel of the bike when installing it onto the rack. Over the years, mountain bike forks have changed from quick releases to through axles and now wider boost axle lengths. This requires additional adapters to make the fork attach to the rack. I also wanted a bike mount that could accommodate 29er mountain bike wheels and not latch onto the frame of the bike. The Thule Upright fits my criteria and is a good option for $230. Bonus, it's compatible with the Yakima round bars. Another option is the Yakima High Road that retails for $250. It was the most expensive of the bunch, but looked a bit bulky. They also offer another system called the front loader for $210, which looks similar, just more lightweight. I ended up selecting the RockyMounts BrassKnuckles, which retails for $220. Like the base system, I'm attracted to the low-profile style, and the color was all black with a blue release button that matches my bike. I may be biased, but I have used Yakima products for about 30 years, starting with rain gutter towers and ski mounts. To save time, I measured out the mounts with the crossbars as well as put together the BrassKnuckles bike carrier. To show how multiple bikes and gear can be loaded, we'll also throw in a RockyMounts pitchfork and Yakima Space Cadet storage bin. The first step is to measure a distance of 24 inches between the front crossbars and the back window of the truck. We need to accommodate for the front wheel of the bike while it is on the BrassKnuckles bike mount. Once the bar is in place, tighten the bolt until the foot reaches the top of the side railing. Turn it back 1 or 2 times and push down on the quick release lever. Be careful not to pinch your fingers in the latch. The BrassKnuckles bike mount requires a minimum of 24 inches between crossbars. We first attempted to do 32 inches, but the feet got hung up on some attachment pieces of the bed liner. We narrowed it to 29 inches and it fit perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Confirm the distance before tightening down the other side.
Change the feet so that
when installing the RockyMounts BrassKnuckles bike mount, the first step is to loosen the tension bolt for the rubber straps that connect to the crossbars. This mount should work on square or round bars as well as factory racks. The only security issue I can tell is that anyone can come around and cut the straps from the crossbars. For the rear crossbar, you remove one of the bolts and swing the arm under the crossbar. Tighten up both bolts evenly and then you're done. The bike goes on pretty easily. Just make sure to get the front tire backed against the backstop and pull down the hook.
I call it the BrassKnuckles because it's like this, yeah. To get it in there.
After adding the BrassKnuckles mount, I installed my older RockyMounts pitchfork mount. Note, this model has been replaced by the Jet line, and it only works with quick release forks. If you have a through axle and you don't mind taking off the front wheel, I would recommend a switch hitter. I normally would not mount this rack in the middle, but I wanted you to see how it would look with a box carrier mounted on the racks as well. I will move the rack to the other side once this example is complete.
Yep, it fits.
The BrassKnuckles and pitchfork use 2 sets of keys to lock the mount to the crossbars and to lock the bike onto the mount. It works great if you need to pick up lunch after a ride. However, I would recommend getting a separate cable lock if you plan to leave the bikes out for an extended amount of time.
All right, let's see how these things do.
The bike carrier does really well through turns and bumps on the pavement. You will notice a swing on the turns and pulling out of the driveway. While driving on a dirt road, the swing is minimal. I did another video with the bike not installed properly. The front wheel was not locked against the backstop, and that caused a lot of movement. No issues at high speeds on the freeway. Crosswinds didn't seem to affect the bike sitting on the mount. For the Yakima Bedrock, I give the install process a 4. The crossbar is installed easily onto the bed mounts, and positioning it on the bed was quick, with the only difficulty being the bed liner. Ease of use is only a 3. If I need to take it off, I'll still need to loosen all the bolts versus just using the quick release. I have been using the Bedrock system for about a year now, and I have not had any issues with the racks moving around or coming loose. The crossbars still look good and have not bent. I'll give this a score of 4. I really like the low profile style of the racks, and it matches the trim. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. The mounts come with a Yakima SKS lock core set, and with the metal quick release lever, it feels very secure. 5 out of 5. The Bedrock system retails for $200, which includes 4 locks. However, you will need to add the 78-inch crossbars, which will cost an additional $100. Compared to similar roof rack system from Thule, the Yakima system is a better value. 4 out of 5. The total score for the Yakima Bedrock is a 24 out of 30. For the RockyMounts BrassKnuckles, the install process is a 3. Working with the tension bolt was a little awkward, and I'm unsure of how much I should tighten the straps. Ease of use is a 4. Getting a bike on and off is pretty easy using the backstop and hook. The wheel straps lever could work better when releasing the bike. My old pitchfork strap works better and is quite a few years older. The racks are made from aluminum with only a few trim parts made from plastic. From the few times that I've used the rack, the durability looks good, so I will give it a 4. I'll need to do a follow-up review in a few months. Like the Bedrock, the low profile of the bike rack is very impressive and looks better than its competition from Yakima and Thule. You also have color options in red and white. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. The systems from Yakima and Thule have cable locks that integrate into the trays. RockyMounts doesn't have a similar option, and with the rubber straps, I will give it a security rating of 2. The BrassKnuckles carrier retails for $220 without the locks, but I was able to find it online for $176. Compared to similar bike carrier systems from Thule and Yakima, the RockyMounts is more affordable. 4 out of 5. The total score for the RockyMounts BrassKnuckles is a 21 out of 30. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more product and mountain bike trail reviews.